So I wanted to take the time to talk about Mario Odyssey. It was one of the first games that I had played on the Nintendo Switch back in the day. I bought that game, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this one was the second of my favorite out of those three. I preferred Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is surprising. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Please leave a comment and stick around to the end. Thank you. But yeah, Mario Odyssey stands out to me because the evolution of the Mario 3D game seemed to be on the right track. Like, it seemed to go on the right track. I played the last 3D Mario game I played before Mario Odyssey was Mario Galaxy on the Wii, the original one. And that game was like my favorite game while I was playing that in college. I really enjoyed that game and felt like it was the true evolution of a Mario game. And so when I played this game, I felt like it was a pickup right where that series left off. And it was, over 10, well, under 10 years, but just under 10 years of when that game came out. And it felt like, it didn't have like the 3D gravitational stuff on it, but it just felt like this is the way that Mario should play. And his movement and traversal and platforming seemed dialed in, and he wasn't missing any moves. And they added in some stuff with Cappy and being able to capture the enemies using him, and then being able to kind of like Kirby, like transform and use them as you see fit. And it was a really refreshing take for me on a 3D platforming game where it's still a collectathon, so it still has that where everything is all over the place and you just got to collect everything that you can. They did a very, very good job with spreading out the content throughout each level in a very specific way that makes it feel like it's just brimming with stuff for you to collect that are important and not just completely irrelevant. So like there are moons kind of hidden everywhere. It feels like they weren't stingy with the design of the moons. So there are moons just tucked in, and it's like, oh well, I'm gonna do a floor bash on this spot, and then a moon will pop up, and it's like, oh well, I guess I didn't really think that that's what would be there, but it just seems like it looks like there would be something there, maybe a couple coins or whatever. And so it feels really dense, and it feels like when you go back to play it after you beat the game, there's still content to be enjoyed. And that's actually what I was doing while I recorded the footage for this video. I just kind of went to a couple places and was trying to mess around and just get comfortable with the mechanics again, because it's been a while since I played it. But I did figure that I wanted to make a video about this game because it was so iconic for the Switch, and it really ushered in a new era for the Nintendo Switch to get some traction and some success because of a first-party release on this game that wasn't a port from the Wii U. Really helped set in motion the trajectory for the Switch into the future, and it was a very good choice of them to take the time to polish this game and to make it visually stunning. And I know that the Switch was weak even when it came out. It was older hardware, and now 7 years later it's even more out of date. But they did a great job creating this game and the graphical style and the art style and the polish to fit the hardware. They weren't shooting too high like some companies I feel like do that even with like the PS5 hardware, where it's like you're shooting too high for this, and it's not, the PS5 isn't even capable of doing this. If you were to just focus more on trying to make it 60 frames per second and make it visually stunning to fit the parameters of this console, then it would turn out way better. But I get it, developers are, especially third-party developers, are trying to develop for multiple systems and PC and maybe port it to the Switch, and so they have all of these stuff that they're porting for. But that's why I enjoy first-party Nintendo games so much, because they're handcrafted for that specific console, and maybe later on they'll port it to, you know, the next console up in like in the future. But at that time, they're not worried about trying to get it onto a PC or onto a PlayStation. They're worried about getting it straight on to that chipset, to that hardware right there, and that's why it comes out so polished and so visually stunning, because they're pushing it all to the limit. And it's crazy that it came out so long ago, but it was one of my favorite games when it came out. Mario Odyssey is a great game. It's the standard for a 3D Mario game going forward. I really enjoy the boss designs. I feel like they're pretty simple, but I do enjoy that, where it's not too difficult, where it's like, yep, you know what you're going to expect here. There's nothing super ridiculous and super crazy, where it's like Luigi's Mansion 3, for example, had some crazy bosses where it was just like too much puzzle stuff, which I really enjoyed that game, and that's like a 10 out of 10 in my book. Same with the graphical style, just how it's brimming with so much content within each level. It's crazy. But like, to contrast against Luigi's Mansion 3 with Mario Odyssey, it's a more simplistic, more traditional style boss experience. So when you're fighting, you kind of know what to expect, and they're not throwing a lot of puzzle and a lot of like innovative stuff at you. And I actually do enjoy that, and I think that was the right design decision. So the ability to explore in this game, I really find intriguing. It's like, okay, they give you Cappy, and then you get a hot air balloon that you like upgrade with the moons that you find, and then you can travel to all these places, and you can always go back at any time also and kind of finish up and look for more moons. So I like how they don't lock off areas at the end, so you can't travel to places and you gotta like restart the game and stuff like that. I really enjoy that it's always there for you to go back to, and it just adds to the collectathon nature of a 3D platforming game, where you're going to go back and try to collect the stuff that you missed the first time. So if you're kind of trying to speed through the story, and then later on you come back, it's like, I can get all this stuff too. And I like the flow and the exploration nature, and I love the level designs of this game. I think that they're all very, very unique, and the audio complements the music complements the level very well, and it creates a nice atmosphere for you to kind of explore in for a little bit until you beat the boss and stuff. I really think it was super fun, and I like Cappy. I would like to see a traditional Mario game similar to Mario Odyssey with that framework, and then remove the Cappy and have kind of just a traditional, like almost like a Mario 64 style, where it's just Mario, no gimmicks. But Nintendo always has to do the gimmicks with the Mario games, it seems. Like Mario with Flood in Sunshine, Mario Galaxy had like the 3D thing, and then you'd shoot with the Wii remote or Wiimote or whatever, and then the one where he turned into like a kaiju and would get like Super Saiyan cat Mario. Like, I don't know, it was crazy. That was actually really fun. I really enjoyed that though. But yeah, Cappy is good. Cappy's cool. I would like another game in the series, but not call it Mario Odyssey, not a sequel. Just keep that framework, and I would really like to see that on the Switch 2 whenever that comes out. But yeah, the style in this game, the hidden moons, and then being able to go back, it just really drew me in, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, thanks for sticking around to the end. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, please. Mario Odyssey, one of my favorite games, one of the first games I got on the Switch, and I went back and played it and enjoyed it even more the second time. So thanks for tuning in.